Once upon a time, there were two friends named Jack and Jill. And one day they decided to go up the hill together to get some water. But this was no ordinary hill. Oh, no. This hill was full of adventure and surprises. Jack was a brave and curious young lad with a thirst for excitement, while Jill was a cautious and thoughtful young lady who loved nothing more than helping others. Together, they made a great team. As they started their journey up the hill, Jack skipped ahead, eager to reach the top. "Come on, Slowpoke," he called back to Jill. "We'll never get any water if we don't hurry." But Jill wasn't worried. She knew that Jack's eagerness would get him into trouble one of these days. When he reached the top of the hill, instead of finding a well or a stream, he found something even more amazing. A magnificent dragon was dozing peacefully beside a bubbling spring. Now, dragons were known to be fearsome creatures, but this one looked so cute when it was sleeping. Jack couldn't help but sneak closer to get a better look. He tiptoed around the dragon, careful not to wake it up. The dragon's scales shimmered in the sunlight, and its long tail swished back and forth rhythmically, like a pendulum keeping time with the spring's gentle bubbling. Jack had never seen anything like it before. He wanted to wake the dragon up and ask it all sorts of questions. But he knew that dragons were supposed to be fierce and dangerous. So he decided to be brave and try to sneak past it. However, as he turned to leave, his foot slipped on a loose stone and he tumbled down a small hill right into the dragon's line of sight. The dragon opened one eye, then the other, and stared at Jack with an expression that could only be described as sleepy confusion. Jack froze, unsure of what to do next. Had he just made the biggest mistake of his life? Was this how his adventure was going to end? All because of his own carelessness? Before the dragon could even sneeze, let alone breathe fire, Jill came rushing up the hill. She had seen Jack's footprints in the soft dirt and knew something was wrong. When she saw Jack sitting on the ground, with the dragon looking at him expectantly, she couldn't help but sigh. "Jack, what have I told you about running off like that?" she said, shaking her head. But then she noticed the dragon's gentle eyes and the peaceful expression on its face. It didn't look scary or dangerous at all. She turned back to Jack and asked, "What happened here?" Jack explained what he had seen and told her about his plan to get water from the magical spring. "But I didn't mean to wake the dragon," he added sheepishly. Jill smiled and said, "Well, now that we're here, we might as well get some water. But I don't think the dragon will let us get close enough to fill our buckets." Jack nodded, knowing that she was right. So they sat down beside the spring and waited patiently for the dragon to wake up. When it finally stirred, Jill called out to it in a friendly voice, "Hello there, Mer-Dragon. We won't bother you for long, but could you please guard this spring while we fill our buckets?" The dragon looked at them with a puzzled expression. It had never been asked to do such a thing before. But when it saw how polite and respectful they were, it agreed without hesitation. Jack and Jill filled their buckets with water from the magical spring and thanked the dragon for its help. As they started their journey home, they realized that they had learned an important lesson about teamwork. Jack had been too eager and careless, but Jill had been patient and level-headed. Together, they had solved a problem that neither of them could have handled alone. From that day forward, they continued to explore the hill, discovering all sorts of new things and having many more adventures. And as for the dragon, well, it continued to doze beside the magical spring, guarding it until the next time Jack and Jill came to visit. The end.